Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain to you all a controversial subject from my point of view. I might have varying opinions on this, but I'll explain what I think. In our world, there is the internet, there are books, and there's you. And here's the question. With the free time that you have to learn, which is picking up a book and reading without anybody asking you to, without it being for business or anything, just learning by yourself or with others, but now there are two ways that are quite extreme to do this. There are many different other ways of doing this, but here are the two extremes. The first extreme is, alright, I'm going to look at all of these subjects and dig into them a bit. That's called being a Renaissance person. You know all of these subjects a bit, so you can hold up a discussion with your friends about them, which you might do. But you can't really debate about them. You can't really get into so deep into these subjects that you can literally pull on hundreds of different facts to hold up your claims. Today we're going to talk about the very good things that can come out of being an expert. Those very good things that can come out of being a Renaissance person. Today, I'm going to talk about being an expert. And we're going to do it with these two people. This over here is Oliver Lodge. This over here is Guglielmo Marconi. At around the time that a lot of inventors were coming out at the end of the 19th century, such as Edison and Tesla, there was a guy that we like to call Oliver Lodge, and he had just lost a friend who had been working with him on a project. He dedicated this project to him. This project was something that would begin a revolution in communication, the wireless telegraph. It would connect the world like never before. You wouldn't have to build wires along the streets just to connect to people. This was the wireless telegraph. Well, at least the beginning of it. You could only send signals that weren't really audible, but it was a start. Oliver Lodge's friend, after hearing Oliver Lodge present this, said, "You found your life's work." But Oliver Lodge was what we like to call a Renaissance person. And he had to go on to study more on different subjects. Instead of studying on that subject, he varied into many different subjects, including studying the supernatural. This guy over here, Guglielmo Marconi, came in a while after Lodge with an idea that he'd been fascinating over for years. He'd been experimenting with his brothers and everyone. It was a wireless telegraph, but it had a much greater range. Miles it could cross without losing signal. He presented this, but he was not like anyone before him. He didn't say what his apparatus was made for. Of. He didn't explain the design, which a lot of scientists were going to use against him in the coming times. Now, Oliver Lodge over here was not very happy about this. So he decided to start criticizing Marconi, and he would continue to do so for the rest of, well, the rest of this campaign at least. After this, they started on a race. Lodge's people were trying to solve the telegraph and get it out. There was people spying to try and get there. But Marconi, he held out in the end. Because he had such an unvarying knowledge of the field. He had studied this for years. He was so dedicated to it that he beat everyone in the end. Because he put all of his time into it. He even destroyed a lot of his own personal life in order to establish this design into the world. And we'd also like to congratulate him on being a modern businessman. He didn't reveal what could be patented. He didn't reveal it. Something that Lodge used against him. Truly, this is probably one of the best uses of being an expert. I mean, Leonardo da Vinci was a Renaissance person. Well, he was a literal Renaissance person and a Renaissance person. Actually, I think he's where we get the term Renaissance as being a knowledge of a bunch of subjects, because he spent time on everything and he made brilliant things everywhere. So, it depends. Do you want to be an expert in a field or able to be called on for any subject? Hope you have a nice discussion about this in the comments box or elsewhere. Bye. And I hope you enjoy the thought of this knowledge in your life. Signing out, Sanity.